What? Oh man, it's coming in. It's coming in hot. Okay. It's really an honor. I am a New Yorker, so I think it's just an honor to play a pigeon, one with attitude. I think so, and it's been so fun, and I really love playing the role of Chump. I loved working with the whole cast, and I'm really excited for it. Oh yeah, definitely. Figuratively and in the movie. I mean, when I heard about the story, I thought it was really beautiful and this kind of like really cool, kind of like metaphor for like what we all do, you know. And I love that there's the family aspect. I love that they have different stops along the way. I think it's a really beautiful story. Yeah. Oh wow, yeah, so good. I mean, the animation is insane, and like the pigeon, like has my eyelashes. I don't know how to describe it, but like the way that they kind of work in you and the character is always really cool. Yeah, I think Chump is probably like the most different bird I play. So I think my fourth or fifth bird, which is I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult, but I really liked getting into the character and yeah, I like voice work because you literally don't have to wear. You just come in with like one crock on and you're good, you know. So it's nice in that way. Well, I think we all know what it's like to go on a family vacation, you know, especially one that you don't really know what to predict. And yeah, I think there's something about family and like those memories that you get on those travels that everyone I think can really relate to. It is. It's always weird to like see everybody after hearing their performances and acting like, in the booth with them. So yeah, it's really nice to be here.
I'm not realizing yet. Like it's really weird because we've been working 5 years on this project, which is a little bit longer than what I'm used to do. And so yeah, just watching it like take its flight for the first time is a little bit scary, of course, but at the same time, like finally we can share it with people and see how people are reacting, and so far so good. So I hope like the audience will be like just as happy, like to discover the movie the way we were like just doing it. Well, funny enough, it's just like when Chris Meledandri offered me to work on this project, he told me he wanted to make a movie about ducks, and I thought that was a very silly idea, but I love silly ideas and I love to just go in this kind of weird bet. And I just love the idea of this little family and this relation of family within but just with mallards going through this huge, like trip around the world. And I just loved it, like just the idea of doing an epic journey, but keeping this sort of like very familiar kind of like relationship between the characters and seeing them arguing and having fun and the way anyone can have with their own family or their friends or things like that. And I think we succeeded like feeling these very human relationship feelings within mallards, which was like a weird bet, but I just loved like this kind of weird bet. So the look of the film, we really wanted to share this feeling that anyone can have, when you get out of your comfort zone, like thinking, okay, I'm going to step out and try to maybe do a huge hike or just discover the world, like just not staying in your home and doing the same things over again. And we just wanted to reward the audience with like this beautiful scenery that you can have when you do this kind of effort of going out. And so we really, like watched all those beautiful paintings from the 19th century, like trying to understand how they managed to capture those beautiful, just those moments that last for 5 seconds of a sunset or a sunrise or a moment with just clouds there and everything, and try to share that with the audience. Yeah. Oh wow, yeah, that was like, for me it was really fantastic having the chance of working with all those people. There was Kumail Nanjiani, who is being Mack, the father that doesn't want to go out of his pond and everything. Elizabeth Banks, of course, who's the mother, much more like, open-minded and everything. And Danny DeVito was the old uncle, like grumpy little guy. And this little family, like when I met them for the first time, they really were the characters. I told them like just be natural, like just be yourself and have fun with that. And that was really great because I could really also get their experience as, like people, like Elizabeth Banks as a mother and Uncle Dan as an uncle as well, like how he acts with his nephews and everything, and share with their experience. So it was great, like just having the chance of sharing those things with them and make them ad-lib, like find ideas on the way, and they could find like so much wonderful ideas and relatable little things as well. Yeah. Yeah. I remember like the first time I worked with Danny DeVito, he just arrived, and the way he acts is just reads the line once, and then he's doing a stand-up comedy show based on this line, and you just laugh all the time, you know, like you just, and then you have like this material of like 5-10 pages of great material that you could use for the movie. So that was really fun working with him. Yeah. Well, I couldn't really tell. For me, it's just like I just wanted to make this movie that everyone can relate to, because I just love myself watching children movies, or you know, like every kind of audience, family movies. So I just wanted to do something where anyone could have fun, and then again the idea was to, hey, how are you?
Sorry, I just never met him in person. I've never ever seen you.
Real.
You're real,
You're
right? You're not just an image on a screen,
Yeah, because
right?
we did all the acting.
The whole thing was done. Yeah, it was great.
So nice to see you. Yeah. That's crazy. He's real. Like,
It's just like
like, just like the parrots. Yeah, like exactly.
just like the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, Christmas movie. Yeah, I think it's, for me, it's this kind of really family reuniting kind of movies. You know, like where you just have everyone together, and when you're out, you know, like the kids can do the lines of the kids that you see in the movie. The parents can act the same. They can say, oh, you're like this dad, you're like this mom, or like this kind of relationship. And that's what I loved about this. Yeah, that I wanted to share. Oh, you're welcome.
Have fun today.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I started as the scratch voice, and then from there, I mean, I remember at the time my wrists were broken, so I was kind of just doing it. I'd go back home, and then my dad came up to me one day and he was like, "You never believe what just happened. You've got it." And I was like, "Oh my God!" And being here now feels absolutely unreal, because I just go back and I think about that time, and it's I don't know. It still kind of feels like a dream, but yeah. Yes, he's extremely eccentric. He was a challenge to do, but one I loved. It was a challenge I loved doing. He was a lot of shouting, a lot of screaming. So there were times while recording I was a bit dizzy, but it was so much fun. I absolutely loved it, and he's incredible. I love Dax. Recording solo, never. So this is the first time I've ever done something like this, and it's something that, you know, a pretty big first step, but yeah, never done something like this before. So something I found special is the proper family aspect to the film, I think. You know, you see a lot of movies that will come out, and you know, it's such an important message, I feel like, one that connects with a lot of people, so it's very difficult to get that message across. And then from what I've seen in the movie, I feel like they were able to portray that really well, and the relationship between different characters. But yeah, I think definitely the family aspect they got through very well. Yes. The brother-sister relationship with the lines that I've done, you know, I don't have a sister. I'm one of 4 boys in my family. So that was like, it was like, oh my gosh, I have a sister now. And that was something. And yeah, it was amazing.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I started making this film, probably a year before I even read the script for Cocaine Bear, actually. We've been working on it animation takes a long time, and we had a big pandemic in the middle of creating this movie for people. I just loved the beginnings of the idea of this were just like this family with an overprotective dad and a mom who wants more out of life, and just what do we pass on to our kids, you know? What are we telling our kids about the world around them? That they should be afraid of it, or that they should embrace it? And I just love the messaging in it. And then a super fun, exciting cast. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the family's really cute. I mean, Danny DeVito as the uncle just cracks me up. And, you know, this idea of like, what do we do as family, you know? And yeah, I love the kids. I just met my son and daughter for the first time. We didn't do any of this work together, you know, we were just solo in a booth. So today is a big day for us as a Mallard family. It is. It's really, and to finally be able to share it with the world. And the animation is beautiful. I mean, there's a reason it takes a long time. This is incredibly detailed work. You know, what's wild is I got to meet him in the beginning, and then the pandemic happened, so it was only over Zoom. And he's French, and he loves to do a lot of the voices. So he would put things into the film, and and we would get to listen to him. So I actually weirdly also feel like I know him as an actor, not just as a director. I think he'd be horrified by that. But I found his vocal performance really fun to listen to as we were making the movie. I'm so grateful to hear him say that. I will say the sessions were quick. I really was connected to this character. I mean, I'm a mom. I have 2 kids. You know, they drive me as crazy as anybody. I thought a lot of this was very relatable. I thought they really captured a lot of those simple family moments about, you know, either whether it's the going to the bathroom moment or trying to sleep or, you know, all of the things that you deal with your young children that frustrate you as a parent. Interacting with other people, not talking to strangers, you know, but then also letting them learn those lessons for themselves is also a big part of parenting.
I was I was very excited. I was like, this will be a fun challenge. I've never played Jamaican before, and I love doing dialect work, so it was really exciting. Yeah. It is tricky because what happens with Jamaican is sometimes it can turn a little Irish. And so sometimes you find yourself going to Lucky Charms instead of being in Jamaica when you're trying to stay in a type of dialect. You know what I'm saying there, man? Okay. But it was so much fun. Yeah. I felt that it was interesting. My character is kind of a literal metaphor, him being in a cage, for I think the family's issues, which is that it's like we need to bust out, we need to go on an adventure, we need to live our lives as opposed to stay here in the pond. And he was a person who was forced to stay in that cage until he gets broken out. He's kind of like a symbol for the rest of them that we should travel, we should go out into the world, you know. I know, for the first time. This is exciting. I know we were shooting some of this during COVID, and so this is the first time I got to meet Benjamin, the director, and it's nice. He's very handsome in real life, very very French and handsome, and I was really thrilled to be able to do that finally after all this time. That's the interesting thing about animated films, is that you get it's like a reunion with people you've never met before. Well, the funny thing is, I do use my facial expressions and body language in the booth, and I think that I actually find animation to be less difficult because I think you're allowed to overact a little bit because you're trying to match the look of the characters, which are always bigger than life or exaggerated, and so that you get to put more of yourself into it, and that to me is really fun. Think Freddie Mercury. Yes, he did say that to me. He did say that to me, didn't he? Yeah, I feel like really what it was is that joyfulness that you were talking about, you saw in the scene where I come out of the cage, is that he wanted there to be this almost rock and roll squeal of joy and freedom, and that was the Freddie Mercury of it. Yeah, yes. Fantastic movie for Christmas, and everybody in the family is being represented by somebody. So everybody in your family is being represented by somebody in the Mallard family. So it's going to be great.
I thought it was a very relatable story, you know, like a dad trying to decide whether it's time to let the kids go off and have their own adventure, or is it better to keep them definitely safe and perhaps a little bit, you know, limited. So I thought that was a very, very relatable thing, but I also felt like it was such a fun adventure movie as well. Yeah, I'm definitely like Mack, but I haven't yet discovered the joy of the world outside. I don't have cats, but I have a cat, and I am so protective of her. So I totally related with Mack until he had his character shift and became adventurous, and then I had to act. It was really exciting. I met my kids for the first time. I hadn't met them before, but I've, acted against them and their performances for years, genuinely years now. So really surreal moment. It's rare that you meet someone that you've been working with for 5 years later. No, I mean that was part of the reason I wanted to do the movie. I think Elizabeth Banks was already going to do it, and I'm just a huge fan of hers, and I knew her a little bit personally back then too, and I just thought she was wonderful. So I was like, yeah, I want to do this, to work with her. Well, I mean that's what it is, right? So many the other movies coming out aren't for everyone. you know, sometimes something awkward happens on screen, and you have to like avoid your parents' eyes all day. Not in this movie. And you know, it really is a movie that I think kids will like because it's got a, you know, it's really funny and fun and exciting. But I think grown-ups will connect with it too because it's really about family, you know. And it looks absolutely gorgeous. I think it's genuinely one of the best-looking movies of all time. It's gorgeous. Benjamin did such a beautiful job. I really enjoyed working with him because he really always approached it very much from a story character perspective, and I think he's really, really imaginative. So the action scenes in this movie are really exciting and unusual and surprising. And so I would love to work with him again. Yeah, I mean, doing voice work is it's very different from acting, you know, acting on screen because you can really change your performance months later, you know. I think the movie keeps adjusting and your performance keeps adjusting and your character keeps adjusting. You know, if you're doing a movie where you're on screen, a couple weeks later you're like, oh, that scene I did, that wasn't exactly my character. I wish I could go back and do it. You can't. With this, you really can, and you discover your character over months. And you always have the freedom to go back and adjust something. So for an overthinker like me, it's paradise.